Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, thank you so much to everybody for being here. Today is also a very important lesson class we have. And today I'm going to continue the previous topic that we did for the last 3 days. We discussed some important points, and the most important point of discussion was that um, we discussed about the contamination of our consciousness. Our consciousness is now in a contaminated state. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam. This is the first teaching of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is from Chaitanya Shikshastakam. It says Cheto Darpana Marjanam. We are all Atmas, and we are here in this material world. And the reason why we are here is because our consciousness got polluted. As soon as our consciousness is polluted, we are shifted from the spiritual world to the material world. So that is the main point. You should understand why we are here, because our mind is now polluted. Our consciousness is contaminated. And the purpose of life is to purify our consciousness. And as I said, we are all Atma, we are all Jiva. And the nature of Jiva is Satchit Ananda. It is always eternal, full of knowledge, and full of Ananda, our Atma's nature. But that nature is not being experienced by us now. We are not feeling eternal, we are not feeling knowledgeable, we are not really in Ananda. In fact, we are opposite to that. We are Asat Achit Nirananda. And as I said, the reason is that our consciousness is contaminated. That's why our true nature is suspended. Our true experience of the soul is suspended. So we forgot that we are the soul. Now, the goal of human life is to purify the consciousness and experience our original consciousness, Chetana. So the line goes, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Now, Atma is by nature very pure. Nothing can contaminate the Atma. But one thing can happen with the Atma is that the Atma's consciousness can be covered by a layer. Our Atma is pure. It can never become impure. But one thing happens is that our consciousness, the soul, is covered by a uh, layer of contamination. And that's why it's called Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam is cleansing. Darpana means mirror. Cheto, Chitta. So the Atma is covered by something called a layer of a mirror. It is covered by a mirror. And that mirror is called Chitta. Everybody of you who is a soul, who is in this world, their consciousness is covered by Chitta, a layer of a mirror. Mirror means generally it is transparent, translucent. It is very clear. When you see in the mirror, you can see your reflection. That is the nature of a mirror. So Chitta, that is the mirror that is on the Atma, is generally very pure. By nature, it is pure. But the problem is that when the Atma comes into this world, that layer of mirror, which is called darpana, that is contaminated by impressions or samskāras. How it happens? It happens because in this world, when we come, we have taken many, many millions and millions of births. And we have gone through different kind of emotional experiences. And this mirror that is on the Atma, it gets polluted. It gets impressions on the mirror. The mirror which was very pure, through which we could see ourselves, the mirror was so clear that we could see the reality, we could see Krishna, we can experience Krishna. But now, in this world, because of our different lives of experiences, the mirror is now contaminated with the dust. And this dust is nothing but all the experiences. Because all of you who are listening to the class, it is not just that we are experiencing this life in this body. Before that, so many bodies, human bodies, animal bodies, bird bodies, and we have had different experiences, different impressions of hurt, impressions of fear, impressions of lust, impressions of anger, impressions of attachment, impressions of greed, impressions of anger, envy. All these emotional experiences are reflected on this mirror called chitta. And that mirror, when it is covered with all these impressions, experiences, then it becomes dull. You cannot see. You cannot see the reality. You cannot see the reality. Till now, it was very clear. In the beginning, it was clear, but it became contaminated through different lives. Now, the goal of life is to purify this mirror, which is contaminated by different bad, good, different types of experiences, emotional experiences. So, the purpose of life is to clear. Once you clear this chitta, then you can see the reality of the world. Now you cannot see the reality. Now you cannot see, you cannot experience God, you cannot experience Krishna, you cannot experience love. You are only experiencing what you are experiencing. You are seeing through the mirror which is contaminated, and what you can see, it is a blur. You are only seeing lust, greed, envy, anger, illusion, because the mirror is covered with these impressions. All these impressions you can see in this world. So the purpose of life is to appear. Now, today's topic is that we are going to talk about different Vedic traditions. They are offering different methods of purification. The mirror has to be cleansed. So different Vedic traditions, they offer different types of processes to purify. And we are going to discuss about these things. And when we talk about chitta, the mirror is the body. That you have to take that mirror as one's whole body. That mirror, the chitta, is again divided. The body has three parts. One part is called ahaṅkāra, one part is called buddhi, one part is called manas. So this chitta is the main ingredient, and it has three different components. Ahaṅkāra, false ego; buddhi, intelligence; manas is the emotional mind. So what we have to purify? We have to purify the impressions. In fact, we have to purify the ahaṅkāra, purify the intelligence, purify the manas. And of course, then apart from this, then we have this body. Because the chitta is the sukshma sharira. Generally, we call it as mind. We generally use the word, we don't use the word chitta, we say mind. And mind is nothing but the whole mind is chitta, and that chitta is divided into ahaṅkāra, buddhi and manas. Now we have to purify this whole thing. And different traditions are offering different processes to purify. Now we are going to discuss which method is the best method, because ultimately the goal is to clear the mirror from all the bad impressions, emotional trauma, experiences, samskāras, so that we can see Krishna, we can see our true identity, we can see the reality of existence, and then we can regain our original identity as servants of Krishna. How to do that? Now we are not able to. So Vedic life, it offers different methods and to purify the chitta. The impressions have to be removed. And the first one is we are discussing in a random way. I'll discuss 3 4 methods. The first method is generally the yogic method. There are some yogic that the Vedic literature proposes Patanjali yoga system. Yoga. So some people adopt the process of yoga. Yoga means, everybody heard Ramdev Babaji is very famous for yoga, and he's always teaching on the television about asana, pranayama, meditation. So Vedic system is there is one of the Vedic system is yoga, the process of yoga, and the philosophy of yoga is citta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti. Vritti means the tendency of the mind, because mind is very chanchala. It is always fickle. So the purpose of yoga, the Patanjali yoga, nowadays they learn yoga, they do yoga for health benefits, but the purpose of yoga is not for health benefits. The purpose of yoga, Patanjali yoga, is for chitta vritti nirodha. That means controlling the tendency of the mind. Chitta here means mind. So that fickle, that chanchala nature has to be controlled. So yoga process, asanas, pranayama, meditation, the goal is to control the mind. Control the mind, make the mind peaceful, make the mind pure, and calm the thoughts of the mind. It's not for health benefits. Nowadays, there are so many yoga processes for pregnancy, for blood pressure, for diabetes, for all nonsense they are teaching. But yoga is not for health. Yoga is ultimately to regulate the mind. So, where is it working? The purification is happening on the mind. So, it is targeted to purify the mind. But our goal is not to just purify the mind. Our goal is to remove the impressions from the chitta. So this process, Patanjali process, is just targeting the mind. But the goal is not achieved. But this is one process which is suggested by Patanjali. So some of them, they adopt that process and they think that it will purify themselves. But the goal is to purify the mirror, not just the mind. The mirror is the entire thing. Mind is one aspect. So different processes are targeting different aspects of chitta. As I said, chitta has ahaṅkāra, buddhi, and manas, mind. So Patanjali Yoga is targeting the mind, but that is not enough for us. That is not sufficient to purify the consciousness. So this is one system I said. Second system is the process of Jnāna. All these Jnanis, they study books, Vedic literatures, and they get a lot of knowledge. Jnana means what? Knowledge. And uh, knowledge is like light. And when light comes, ajnana is destroyed. So the jnana process, generally Shankaracharyas, the Vedanta, the so-called Advaita Vedanta, they are all following this method. They think that just by getting knowledge, then they can remove, destroy the ignorance, and that is the purpose of life. So that's why they keep analyzing the scriptures. They study the scriptures, they get more and more knowledge, and then they want to destroy. Just like the example they give, like sometimes when we see in the dark one rope is hanging, and then we think that it is a snake. But Once you turn the light on, then you see that it's a rope. It's not a snake. So jnana will destroy ajnana. So they are always looking for jnana, and they are cultivating vairagya, they are cultivating viveka, and then they are inquiring, self-inquiry. They're trying to understand who I am, this, that, through jnana. And the goal of the jnana is to understand that I am not the body, I am Atma. They come to that level.
Hare Krishna.
The whole effect of jnana is to get knowledge, to destroy the ignorance. And they think that that is the highest way of purifying. And then their self-inquiry ends into knowing that they are Atma. That's it. And then there are details which I'm not going to discuss. This is a short class. So this is jnana, which is, and where is it targeting? Is it targeting the citta? Is it targeting the ahaṅkāra? Is it targeting the mind, or is it targeting intelligence? Yes, it is targeting the intelligence, the buddhi. Because citta is whole, it is divided into ahaṅkāra, buddhi, and manas. It is targeting the intelligence aspect of the mind, but it's not targeting the chitta is the impressions. We want to remove the impressions, clear the mirror, purify the mirror, so that we can see through the mirror the reality of life, reality of our existence, reality of the goal about God, Krishna. That is not happening because the chitta is fully covered with impressions. And because of that impressions, we have attitude, because different impressions are giving everybody different personality, attitude, and it's giving different levels of intelligence and different types of emotional intelligence like manas. Now, this jnana is targeting the intelligence. It is not targeting the chitta in a true sense. So this is not really solving the problem. The third one which we come to now is, so the jnana is purifying the buddhi, intelligence, and yoga is purifying the mind. And now third one is karma yoga. There also the Vedic system is offering karma yoga. Karma means action, and karma yoga means acting. Because generally when we act, we expect results. I want this result because I'm doing this work. But karma yoga means not attached to the results. Why one is not attached to the results? Because he knows that it's not just his efforts which are the cause of the result. There are so many other factors that also contribute to the result. So with that knowledge, we understand I am not just the reason for the result. Generally, I think selfishly, I think I did it, I got it. You study in school, you get grades, good grades, you think you are great. But your parents helped you, teachers helped you, books were there, everything contributed. So then you got results. The child thinks, no, I got the results, I am great, No, the karma yogi is working without being attached to the results. In that way, what is happening? It is affecting this karma yoga process is purifying the ego, ahaṅkāra. How it's purifying? Because ego thinks I am great, I am doing this, I am controlling. But here karma yogi understands, and he thinks I'm not the controller, I'm not the doer. So in that way, karma is a method prescribed by the Vedic tradition, and which is targeting the ahaṅkāra. It's not targeting mind, it's not targeting buddhi, it is targeting the ahaṅkāra, the tendency that makes us think I am the controller. That is, but it's not targeting the main aspect, which is citta. Citta is the mirror on which the impressions are there. Those impressions have to be targeted. Any process, the goal should be cheto darpana marjanam. This third process The first was yoga. The second was jnana, and karma was also there. And it didn't. It is a process of purifying, but it's not helping the ultimate goal of Pracheto Darpanam. And there are some other processes. Like, for example, there's a process called Prayashchitta. Some of the people, they do some tapasya, yajna, they give charity, they control their senses, they do fasting, they live a very simple life, they chant some mantras, and they try to purify their papa. Papa is there. They remove that papa. But the thing is that as long as the impressions are there in the chitta, we will keep continuing to do more and more papa. So this prayashchitta, yajna, dana, tapa is a temporary fix. It's a temporary fix. It doesn't solve. It doesn't attack the root of the contamination. The root of the contamination is purification. The contamination in the chitta. They are targeting the body. The prayashchitta, yajna, dana, tapa. It is all mostly on the level of body. Freedom from sins. So ultimately, what is the conclusion till now? The conclusion is that all the systems that the Vedic tradition offers till now, they are either targeting the body, they are either targeting the senses, they are either targeting the mind, they're targeting the buddhi, or they are going to some extent to the ego. But none of them purify the deep layer, the citta, where impressions, samskāras are stored. Samskāras are stored. Those are the deep samskāras, that's why when I said citta is the main, and that has three components: ahaṅkāra, buddhi, and mind. And where is this ahaṅkāra coming? Ahaṅkāra is coming from citta only, because the impressions are making you, giving you a personality, giving you an attitude, giving you even the body that we have. It is because of the impressions. That impressions are physically manifested in the form of our form, the body that we have. Everybody has a unique face, unique structure of the body. It is also nothing but the impressions. They are collectively forming a body, and they are giving you an attitude. They are giving you some kind of an intelligence, because you have different experiences. Based on that, you have intelligence, and you have some emotions. The manas, the mind. I am using the word chitta, but generally people use the word mind. Mind. The whole thing is called mind. But Sankhya, the Bhagavatam Sankhya, it clearly mentions it's chitta. Chitta, then ahaṅkāra, buddhi, and manas. Then we have the gross senses, then we have the body. So that is a point. So far what we have discussed, we have not been able to find a system which is targeting the root of the problem. If we clear that impressions, then our ego changes, our buddhi changes, our mind, the emotional mind changes. We become peaceful, we become soft, we become humble, we become satisfied, we become free from any agitation, and we will become open to Krishna consciousness when the chitta is targeted. So today's class I'll end here with the discussion about this. Tomorrow we are going to speak about the Gaudiya Vaishnava, the Vaishnava principles of Bhakti, and how it is the most powerful, most dynamic way of dealing with this samskāras, the chitta, and ultimate purification. Tomorrow we are going to discuss this very important ultimate topic, so that we can scientifically follow the process. Now you know some idea. So I'll stop it here today, and I would like to ask. I think Trigun had a question. Trigun, you can ask me a question. Trigun now.
Prabhu, as you mentioned that the Jnana Yoga is all about by knowing who we are, what is this world is. So does that mean that is it reciting from the Vedic literature, Prabhu?
Is it? Your voice is little distorted.
Does Jnana
Would you
Yoga
mind?
means that?
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? Does it mean? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Your voice is not clear. Yes.
Prabhu, I have messaged it, Prabhu.
Message. Okay, I'll check the message. Okay, thank you. Does Jnana Yoga mean reading the Vedic literature? Yes. It means Jnana Yoga means reading Vedic literature. I'm talking about the Jnana yogis, the Shankaracharya followers, whose purpose is to just read the literature to get the knowledge, and the knowledge about the reality, the knowledge about the Atma, knowledge about Maya, and they're studying the books and they're getting more and more knowledge so that the ignorance is destroyed. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Varanasi and he was chanting and dancing, all this so-called Advaita Vedantists, they were laughing at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying that you are a sannyasi, your purpose should be to just read and analyze the Vedic literature and understand that you are soul, and finally understand that you are God. So it's like, so that is how it is actually. Jnana Marga is to just understand, now get the knowledge. There is no seva because there is no God for them. They are just scrutinizing. They are thinking I'm the soul and I'll become one in that energy, in that formless energy, or that impersonal Brahman. I will become one. There is no conception of God for them. That's why they have no concept of service. They are just analyzing the knowledge and they're trying to remove their ignorance. So it is actually targeting the buddhi aspect of our subtle body, the citta, ahaṅkāra, buddhi, karma, mind, manas. So that's it. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes. So tomorrow we're going to discuss about the most important topic about how Gaudiya Vaishnavism and the principles of Bhakti, they are the most powerful, and how they deal with this fundamental problem of contamination in the consciousness. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the best to you.